Imagine someone watching your every move online, tracking your messages, your posts, your private life. Now,
or they're using a phone number that traces right back to them. The dark web, it's not really a huge part of catching predators and pedophiles.
Imagine that person is obsessed, dangerous, and willing to kill. This isn't a story about fiction or movies, it's the terrifying real-life case of a hacker-murderer who stalked celebrities, breached their most private digital spaces, and evaded capture for years. Tonight, we uncover the chilling tale of obsession, technology, and murder. In today's world, celebrities live much of their lives online. Social media, emails, and digital communication have replaced the walls of privacy that once protected them. But technology can be a double-edged sword. It connects, informs, and entertains, but it also exposes, endangers, and, in the wrong hands, can be used as a weapon. This story begins with a figure who exploited that very weapon. A hacker by skill, a predator by nature, and a murderer by action, this individual turned the digital world into a hunting ground. For years, law enforcement and fans alike were unaware that the person behind every security breach and every anonymous threat was the same dangerous mind. Early signs and obsession. The hacker-murderer didn't start as a criminal mastermind. Early on, the obsession was small, tracking social media, creating fake profiles, and monitoring online interactions of those he fixated on. But obsession is rarely static. It grows, mutates, and, in this case, became lethal. He developed an uncanny knowledge of technology, hacking into accounts, bypassing security protocols, and uncovering secrets that even the most cautious celebrities thought were private. The thrill of access fueled him, but it wasn't just about technology, it was about control, dominance, and fear. As his confidence grew, so did his audacity. Threatening messages began to appear, first subtle, then increasingly direct. Celebrities reported being stalked, finding clues that someone had been inside their personal accounts, reading private emails, and even monitoring movements. But without concrete evidence, the authorities struggled to connect the dots. The first kill. The transition from digital obsession to real-world violence was abrupt and shocking. The first murder caught the world off guard. The victim was a well-known figure, someone the hacker had been fixated on for months. Investigators found that every move had been planned meticulously. The killer exploited weaknesses in technology, surveillance blind spots, and the victim's predictable routines. The murder wasn't random, it was calculated, precise, and terrifying in its execution. The shockwaves were immediate. Fans and colleagues were horrified, and the police were suddenly racing against a highly intelligent and technologically skilled criminal. Yet, despite the urgency, the hacker remained one step ahead, stalking in the shadows. For years, the hacker operated with impunity. He moved between digital spaces, leaving false trails, destroying evidence, and manipulating technology to hide his identity. Every investigation was met with clever diversion, making him almost invisible to the authorities. Victims described a pattern of psychological terror. Emails, messages, and hacked accounts were used to manipulate, intimidate, and isolate. The hacker didn't just want access, he wanted control over his targets' lives, extending fear into every corner of their existence. Fans began noticing unusual posts, cryptic messages, and unexplained security breaches. Celebrities reported panic attacks, paranoia, and sleepless nights, but the hacker's clever use of technology kept his real-world location hidden. The public saw the aftermath, threatened and murdered figures, but never the predator. The investigation intensifies. Law enforcement launched a multi-agency task force. Cybercrime experts, forensic analysts, and field investigators worked around the clock to catch someone who seemed untouchable. The challenge was immense. Every lead turned cold, every trace was erased, and every tactic used by authorities was anticipated by the hacker. Surveillance cameras, IP tracking, and undercover operations were all met with countermeasures. Despite the frustration, investigators noticed patterns. The hacker had preferred targets high-profile individuals, those with visible online activity and a signature style in his messages and intrusions. These small consistencies became the foundation of the case against him. Psychological profile. Experts analyzing the case described the hacker-murderer as highly intelligent, narcissistic, and manipulative. He thrived on power, control, and fear. His digital prowess amplified his obsession, allowing him to penetrate not just networks, but the minds of his victims. Psychologists note that this level of technological stalking is uniquely terrifying because it extends into every part of modern life. Victims often felt they had no safe space, no private moment, and no escape. The hacker's crimes weren't just physical, they were psychological, eroding the sense of safety and security of every target. Close calls and narrow escapes. There were moments when authorities almost caught him. Close surveillance, intercepted communications, and digital breadcrumbs suggested imminent arrest, but the hacker's foresight and cunning allowed him to slip away. Some celebrities even took extreme measures, changing locations, hiring personal security, and disconnecting online accounts temporarily to evade him. Yet, no matter the precautions, he remained a haunting presence in the background, always one step ahead. These near captures increased the fear and tension. The public began to realize that this wasn't a random threat, but a calculating predator who could strike again at any moment. The final hunt. After years of evasion, the breakthrough came from a combination of old-fashioned detective work and modern technology. Authorities traced a minor slip, a misconfigured server, a reused password to a physical location. This discovery allowed law enforcement to narrow down their search and prepare for the final confrontation. The hacker, now aware that the net was closing, attempted to flee, but the coordinated effort of multiple agencies finally cornered him. When arrested, the hacker appeared calm, almost proud of the chaos he had caused. It was as if the pursuit itself had validated his intelligence and obsession. But for victims and families, the relief was immense. The nightmare was over, though the trauma remained. Public reaction. News of his arrest shocked the world. Fans and the general public were stunned that a figure capable of such digital sophistication could also be capable of murder. Celebrities who had been targeted expressed relief, anger, and disbelief. The case sparked conversations about cybersecurity, digital privacy, and the hidden dangers of online fame. Experts warned that technology, while empowering, can also be weaponized by those with skill, obsession, and malicious intent. The story highlighted the vulnerabilities that even the most cautious individuals face in a connected world. Lessons learned. Several lessons emerge from this chilling case. Digital security is crucial. High-profile individuals must treat online accounts, passwords, and personal information as seriously as physical security. Small lapses can have deadly consequences. Obsession can escalate quickly. The transition from digital stalking to real-world violence is frighteningly fast. Early intervention, reporting suspicious behavior, and monitoring threats are essential. Psychological damage lasts. Even after the capture, victims experience long-term trauma, anxiety, and fear. Recovery requires both personal resilience and professional support. No one is immune. Fame, wealth, and security measures do not guarantee safety. The hacker's case proves that danger can exist even for those who appear most protected. Impact on cybersecurity awareness. This case has since influenced how the entertainment industry, celebrities, and high-profile individuals approach cybersecurity. Digital protection is no longer optional, it's a matter of life and death. Workshops, private security consultations, and stricter online protocols have become standard for many in the public eye. Awareness campaigns emphasize vigilance, caution, and the potential danger of digital obsession, turning a terrifying story into a catalyst for education and prevention. The hacker's psychology and legacy. The hacker-murderer remains a case study in obsession, intelligence, and danger. Experts continue to analyze his behavior to understand how digital skills can be paired with psychological manipulation to devastating effect. For the public, his story serves as a reminder. Technology is not inherently safe, and human obsession can turn even the most sophisticated tools into weapons. His crimes are a cautionary tale of the intersection between genius, obsession, and deadly intent. The hacker-murderer who stalked celebrities and evaded capture for years left a trail of fear, trauma, and unanswered questions. His story isn't just about crime, it's about the dark potential of technology in the hands of someone obsessed with control, power, and destruction. For everyone connected to the digital world, which is essentially all of us, this case is a chilling warning. Vigilance, security, and awareness are more than precautions, they are lifelines. The predators of the digital age are real, and they are patient, clever, and relentless. Remember, the next time you log in, post, or share your life online, that behind the screens, someone could be watching, waiting, and planning. Stay alert, protect yourself, and never underestimate the danger that hides in the shadows of technology. Because sometimes, the most terrifying threats aren't strangers in the makeshift dark, they're brilliant, obsessed, and just a click away.